Hello guys, welcome to the fourth video. What we'll be talking about in this fourth video has to do with CSS box model. What do we mean by box model? Everything in HTML is in a box. For instance, this H1 itself is in a box. If we come over right now, let's preview this in our browser. So you can see here, everything right here now is in a box. You might not see it, that's because it is not visible for you to see. What do I mean? This H1 tag here is sitting in a box. This P tag is sitting in a box. So in order to make all those visible, that has to bring us to CSS and explain the concept of this box model. And when we talk about this box model, we are going to be restricting ourselves to padding in terms of this video. In subsequent ones, we'll talk about other box models, but in this, we're going to be talking about padding. Now, what do I mean by box model? And what do I mean by everything is inside a box? Right now, let's go back to our CSS styling. Let's remove this comment we have here. I already assigned the background to this. So, if we save this, for instance, and go back, here you go. This is what I mean by box. Now this text is inside this box, as you see, and it has been aligned to the center, no problem. But between this box, there's this text as a content, and there's a little height from the text content up and down, left and right. So right now, what I need to do, I want to remove this text alignment right now and refresh. Here you see our text is sitting just by the beginning of this box, and that will have to bring us to padding. Right now in padding, what we do is, what padding does is that it talks about the gap between this up margin and this down margin, this left and this right. When it has to do with the text, how far the text is sitting from the beginning to the end, from up to down. So let's just go back to CSS and add that line of code, say padding. Padding. Now let's give it 25 pixel and let's save, preview this. There you go. Now what we have done is that we've added the padding, cell padding of 25 pixel up, down, left and right. The only reason here the content is very much right now, as in the gap is much, is because this text itself doesn't fill the entire page. So let's just copy something into it, something that will fill that page up. Let's repeat this 3 more times, save this and let's refresh. There you go. Right now the text here, the gap here is too much because this part couldn't fit in here. But what you need to know is that the gap between left and right is the same, up and down is the same. Now when it comes to padding, there are different elements in padding, where you have to talk about the up padding, the bottom, the left and the right. Right now this is general because we didn't apply the padding to any side of it. So as long as we give it 20 pixel, HTML assume the entire system, left, right, center, up, down is 20 pixel. So right now let's talk about the padding left, padding right, padding bottom and padding top separately from just what padding. So right now I will just erase this. Now let's add a padding to the top of 10 pixel. Let's save it. Now refresh. Sorry about that, didn't know what happened there. There you go. Now if you look at this carefully, there's 10 pixel from the top to the text. Left and right, nothing. Bottom, nothing. So if we decide to go one more time and add the padding bottom and also give it 10 pixel and save it, if you refresh this, you will have equal space between the up and the down. There you go. Now there's 10 pixel bottom and 10 pixel up. Now if we want to talk about the padding left, we can add one more and say padding left 10 pixel. Save this, and if we refresh, there you go. Now you have 10 here, 10 here, and 10 here. For the right, there's no padding to the right, so let's just add one more to the right and say padding right 10 what pixel, and let's save that. There you go. The padding to the right. Well, what you've just seen is how padding works, but this is kind of a long way of doing this. You can just do this line of code, this 4 in one line, without having to write this 3 more times. So if you erase this, you need to remove this top, just say padding. Now let me just explain something here. Pixel, I put another 10 pixel, 10 pixel, 10 pixel. Now let me explain this to you. What you have on the screen right now, here being 10 pixel, 10 pixel, 10 pixel, is that for this first one, the system sees it as what? As top. This one, the system sees it as padding top for the first one, after which the second one, it sees it as padding right, as per this second one where the cursor is blinking right now. Then for this third one, it sees it padding bottom, and for this last one, it sees it as what? Padding left. So if you save this and go back, if you refresh this, there will be no changes. That's because everything is what? Is the same. So doing this one line of code saves you the stress of writing padding bottom, padding left, padding right, and the rest. It saves a lot of time, and that is very good for what? Programming. I prefer this option than the long one, but for beginners, you need to understand the first concept before you can start applying this and the rest. So right now, if I decide to change this, which is padding right, or let's talk about the left, padding left to about 50 pixel or 40, and we decide to refresh, you see here has moved 40 pixel from the left. And if you decide to increase it to about 80 pixel, right now it's in 80 pixel, you save and you refresh, there you go. This is now 80 pixel from the left. And you can also decide to add one more by making it 90 pixel, so it's going to be equal margin from left and right. And if you decide to come here, which is the margin top, and you decide to make it 30 pixel, save it. You can tweak this to see how it fits and which one works for which. Just in case you forget about this, like I said, the first one, you can comment on this stating what this first one is for, second one, third one, and the rest. So whichever way you want it. This is just how padding works. So in the next, we're still going to be talking about boss model, but we'll be talking about margin in the next video tutorial. So if you like this video, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Feel free to share the video, comment on it, because I really love that. See you in the next video.